30.
The bug bust. Police in the Philippines arrest a man they say was behind the love bug computer sabotage. The virus is still spreading. Presidents and would-be presidents honor a prince of the church who preferred the title priest. And are American children over-medicated? A special in-depth Eye on America investigation.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. Aided by the FBI, Philippine police digging into the mystery of the I Love You computer virus hit virtual pay dirt today and collared a real live suspect. A second suspect, believed to be a woman who may be the brains behind the operation, is expected to turn herself in. But the so-called love bug and up to a dozen related viruses are still on the loose. More than 70,000 computers were hit today in Japan as businesses there reopened after a holiday week. CBS's Barry Peterson in Manila was along with the law on the hunt for the hackers.
At first, Ramel Ramones was just a face in the crowd as police raided his Manila apartment. But his was the face of a man suspected of creating perhaps the most destructive computer virus in history. He soon realized he was a wanted man and quickly called the woman who shared his apartment, Irene. According to investigators, this is Irene de Guzman, the other suspect still not in custody. Both are well-educated bank employees, both said to be familiar with computers. Finally, agents grabbed Ramones, his cell phone, and his pager.
You're erasing a message.
Is this the man who created the love bug?
No. Are you the one
Hello. What police, under the watchful eye of the FBI, found in the apartment were computer disks and computer magazines, but
no computer.
No computer. How about a modem? No modem also.
Sowing doubts, are these the right people?
We cannot confirm that as of the moment.
The love bug virus started its rampage late last week, spreading through millions of computers worldwide in a matter of hours, doing, by some estimates, billions of dollars in damage, with a link to the Philippines. Someone used the phone in this apartment to hack into Philippine web pages and plant a second virus, a virus triggered by the love bug. That link, a computer expert told CBS News Tonight, is as close to a smoking gun as there is. Why didn't police act sooner?
Because the Philippines has no specific law covering cybercrimes, it took this long for them to figure out just what the charge should be. In the end, they've settled on using a computer to illegally obtain goods or money or services. It carries a penalty of 6 to 20 years.
Authorities said tonight there may be more searches, more arrests. The world knows what the love bug is and what it can do, but it still doesn't know for sure who did it. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Manila.
Emphasizing that hard numbers are hard to come by in a case like this, here's a look at the known impact of this serious computer virus and its cousins since they started appearing last Thursday. About 45 million computers received love bug messages worldwide, including at least half of all U.S. businesses. And computer experts and insurers such as Lloyd's of London estimate the total cost of repairing the digital damage at $10 billion. A low-tech but widespread problem today on the U.S. weather map. Weekend storms reaching the drought-plagued Midwest have left mud, flood, and death in Missouri and Oklahoma. Much of the East sweltered through another day of record heat. And there's more severe weather on the way, including the Chicago area. CBS News correspondent Cynthia Bowers is in the Windy City on the CBS Weather Watch. Cynthia?
Dan, you could call this the calm before the storm. Much of the Midwest is under a severe weather watch this evening, including the St. Louis area, where people continue the heartbreaking task of cleanup following Sunday's torrential rains.
So that's what I thought. My life's over. I'm going to die here.
The floodwaters turned Wendy Schultz's porch into a pier. She, like many people in Franklin County, Missouri, were caught off guard by so much rain falling so fast. 14 inches in just 6 hours, washing away mobile homes, cars, even household appliances. A storm system that had already caused flooding in parts of Oklahoma stalled just west of St. Louis, dropping a month's worth of rain in only one night, most of it isolated in a small area. For farm fields directly in the storm's path, it was too much of a good thing. But other places, like parts of rain-starved Iowa, did get about a half inch, which farmers there say is helpful, but does not alleviate their concerns about an impending drought. As the waters recede, people are returning home to sort through their soggy belongings to see what can be salvaged, but feeling grateful all the same.
This is what's most important. The only thing I was worried about.
This latest front is expected to work its way eastward and perhaps by Wednesday bring some relief to the heat-beleaguered East Coast, where cities are sweltering in record-high temperatures. How hot is it? 90 in Philadelphia, 91 in the nation's capital, and in New York City, where it feels more like late summer than the middle of spring. The weather here could be rough tonight. A tornado watch is currently in effect. At the very least, high winds are expected and possibly some hail. Dan?
In Chicago. In the dry southwest, a 5,000-acre wildfire is posing a unique threat in New Mexico. The government's Los Alamos nuclear weapons lab was virtually shut. Explosives and radioactive materials were secured in safe bunkers, and hundreds of area residents fled. The fire was set on purpose last week to clear debris and brush, but it was whipped out of control by a combination of high winds and dry conditions. He was a kid from Philadelphia who grew up to become the Cardinal Archbishop of New York and one of the most influential religious leaders in America. His name was John O'Connor. Today, a who's who of mourners packed St. Patrick's Cathedral here in New York City for his funeral. CBS's Jim Axelrod was there.
Presidents, past and present, gathered. The high and mighty shared a pew, and the church said goodbye to a cherished son. Easy to forget, perhaps, amid the trappings befitting America's most powerful Catholic, that John Cardinal O'Connor used to say his greatest joy came from the simple daily work of a priest.
He was, to the core of his being, a priest.
But it was his grand presence on the nation's big stage they came to celebrate today. And so in many ways, the scene inside St. Patrick's Cathedral made perfect sense.
In his constant reminder that the church must always be unambiguously pro-life.
The 2-minute ovation was the emotional centerpiece of the funeral, an awkward moment for a few of the powerful inside.
I see he hasn't left the pulpit.
Exactly what compelled many of the more ordinary to stand outside in record heat. Touched by the voice, the Cardinal provided the voiceless.
That was about the homeless and not rejecting the people that are really outcasts.
I'm John O'Connor, a kid who grew up in the streets of Philadelphia who was always awed by New York.
John Cardinal O'Connor always knew who he was and where he came from. A complicated blend, rigidly conservative on homosexuality, for instance, yet a tireless fighter for those in need.
When he was in town, he would go to an AIDS ward. He would empty the bedpans.
Cardinal O'Connor once said, "On my tombstone, just put the word priest. John J. O'Connor, priest." It's a last wish that didn't seem to describe the entire man today. At the same time, it just about says it all. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, New York.
Coming up next on the CBS Evening News. The United Nations humiliated hundreds of peacekeepers captured as civil war reignites in West Africa. And later, the high-rolling former governor of Louisiana on trial again and again, hoping to beat the odds.
I should use Preparation H.
Cool it fast with Preparation H Cooling Gel. Cools on contact for fast relief. Preparation H Cooling Gel cools on contact.
So, they've got this new golden dollar coin. I know what you're thinking. Why isn't George on it? Well, appearing on money isn't my only gig.
Less than 5 miles by land.
I'm president of my book club. 1, 2, 3, and I teach. And change. Anyway, the coins are totally cool without me.
Houston, we have a dollar.
Introducing the new golden dollar. It's changing the face of money.
Hey, change happens.
At Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, we do not measure success by our resources, our accomplishments, or by the respect and accolades we receive from our peers. To us, there is only one true measure of success. Yours. How do you measure success? At Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, we measure success one investor at a time.
Look! Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ellie's renting again. And Enterprise picked her up again. She said Enterprise picks her up free. Free? Free. Now that makes renting easy.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
A Clinton administration official tells CBS News tonight that the United States has agreed to transport about 800 more United Nations troops, they prefer to call them peacekeepers, from Bangladesh to Sierra Leone in West Africa. The UN and peace are in trouble there, as CBS's Tom Fenton reports, because one of Africa's most vicious civil wars seems about to erupt again.
Sierra Leone's fragile ceasefire broke down today as gunfire erupted in the capital city of Freetown. Angry crowds tried to storm the home of a rebel leader, but were driven off by his armed guards who fired into the crowd. Rebel leader Foday Sanko said he was being unjustly attacked.
This is not the practice of democracy.
Sanko called himself a peacemaker, but in fact, his troops committed the worst atrocities in Sierra Leone's long and bloody civil war. In addition to killing thousands, they gang raped and hacked off the limbs of hundreds of innocent civilians, many of them children. In the last few days, they have captured hundreds of the UN troops who were sent in earlier this year as peacekeepers. The West refused to join the peacekeeping effort, so most of the UN troops are from African countries, poorly trained and with little experience. They seem incapable of defending themselves, let alone the capital, and that is the problem. The increasing chaos prompted Britain to send in troops of its own today. Paratroopers moved into the Freetown area to establish safe corridors for the evacuation of Western nationals. The United States apparently has no intention of sending in American ground troops to join this risky mission. American civilians and other foreigners are now fleeing from Freetown, a massive vote of no confidence in UN peacekeepers who seem increasingly unable to keep the peace. Tom Fenton, CBS News, London.
It looked like the bad old days on the West Bank today as Israeli troops fired rubber-clad bullets at rock-throwing Palestinian protesters. The protesters were demanding the release of more than 1,600 Palestinian detainees on a hunger strike in Israeli jails. One protest leader said any peace deal with Israel must include the release of all jailed Palestinians. In Texas, lawyers for Angel Maturino Resendez opened his trial by conceding he is the so-called railroad killer who murdered 9 people in 3 states before being caught last year. They entered an insanity plea. And President Clinton met this morning with organizers of next Sunday's Million Mom March for gun control legislation. It will be held in Washington and 20 other cities.
I hope it will prompt Congress to act. It is unconscionable. It's now over a year after Columbine and over 10 months since they've had a chance to pass this legislation. And I hope their presence here and throughout the country will be successful.
The president will address the crowd in Washington, where 100,000 marchers are expected. On the CBS Market Watch, stock prices closed mixed today. The Dow blue chips were up 25 points, but the Nasdaq fell 147 as investors took profits on technology stocks. And these investors are hoping for a huge return on the dollars they're putting in to the South's multi-state big game lottery. The jackpot for the drawing tomorrow night has swelled to a record $325 million. CBS Next, the big increase in young American children being put on behavior drugs, an in-depth Eye on America investigation.
She bought a...
The CBS Evening News and tonight's Eye on America segment are sponsored by Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Hey, back on your feet after all that work you missed.
Yeah, good thing my supplemental insurance kicked in.
Supple what?
Aflac. Well, even the best health insurance doesn't give you cash to cover things like lost pay or other expenses. This does.
What does?
Aflac. Oh, sorry, buddy. What? Anyway, ask about it at work.
Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Ask about what?
Just when you thought it was safe to leave your car in the parking lot, something evil will strike. You need a car tough enough to take it on. Chevy Malibu. With a steel safety cage, breakaway mirrors, a 6-layer paint process, and bounce-back bumpers, it's one tough car. Chevy Malibu. We'll be there.
Your mother will tell you the most precious gift she ever got was you. But you can still try to top it with a precious gift from J.C. Penney, like these dazzling diamond earrings, this dramatic diamond bracelet, or this heartwarming gold and diamond pendant. How precious. That's what she'll say anyway. The Mother's Day sale at J.C. Penney, the heart and soul of giving. Now with any $50 purchase, get this extra gift free. A spoonful of chicken soup for the mother's soul.
I don't paste my dentures anymore. I bond them with C-Bond denture adhesive.
2 powerful adhesives in a micro-thin seal bonds dentures to gums. Can hold and fit comfortably all day. No messy cleanup.
Bond your dentures with C-Bond.
Men, remember, women are like flowers. You talk to them, you care for them, and you water them. And you water them, 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 and you...
Tonight's Eye on America is part 1 of a 2-part CBS Hard News investigation. There's a big increase in American children, even preschoolers, being diagnosed with hyperactivity and attention disorders and being put on powerful drugs. 10 million prescriptions were written last year for one of those drugs, Ritalin. CBS News medical correspondent Elizabeth Caledon has been digging deep for the facts.
Oh, sorry. And he jumped off into the airplane to get Jesse.
Andreas Montanez hasn't always been quite so cooperative. His first days at this Fort Worth, Texas kindergarten program were a lesson in patience for his teacher, Deborah Brown.
He was totally out of control.
His mother, Renee, was well aware of the problem. Earlier, Andreas's preschool threatened to expel him.
At one point, he even headbutted a teacher in the nose and gave her a bloody nose.
Doctors labeled his behavior attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD, and prescribed drugs, Dexedrine and Clonidine, to calm him down. Andreas was only 3.5, but his mother felt pressured by the preschool to medicate him just to keep him in class.
If it meant that he had to take medicine and that was going to cure the situation, I was going to try it.
A recent study in the Journal of the American Medical Association shows that more and more preschool children like Andreas are being prescribed powerful drugs to control their behavior. One reason for that is a staggering increase in diagnoses of ADHD. It's become a problem of epic proportions in southeastern Virginia, where 17% of elementary school children have been diagnosed with ADHD. That's more than double the national average.
Put your hand, sweetie.
As a result, doling out drugs here is as routine as recess. Kids at Malibu Elementary in Virginia Beach file into the nurse's office every lunchtime for their medication, mostly Ritalin and its cousin Adderall. Malibu principal Kathy Huang says she never pushes drugs on parents, but she admits they work.
With some children, it does make a big difference, but their behavior is much more manageable when they've had their medication.
That is, if they actually have ADHD, says child psychologist Gretchen Lefevre, whose research exposed the problem in southeastern Virginia.
Many of these children who are labeled as having ADHD probably have other disorders.
Lefevre is particularly alarmed by the increase in preschool diagnoses.
We wouldn't expect them to be able to sit still, and yet they're being medicated for not sitting still in a preschool setting. That doesn't make sense.
Back in Texas, it didn't make sense to Renee Montanez either, who says drugs were making Andreas weepy and he was falling asleep in class. When doctors finally tried to prescribe Paxil, an antidepressant, she said, enough.
So you're weaning him off medication altogether? Yes, I am.
She's formed a united front with Andreas's teacher and is shaping his behavior with a no-nonsense discipline regimen that seems to be paying off.
He has had the best homework, the best handwriting skills, the best attitude I have seen in a long time. And Off the medication? Off the medication.
Proof positive in this one case that alternatives to medication can work. For Eye on America, I'm Elizabeth Caledon in Fort Worth, Texas.
Tomorrow, CBS News will dig deeper into this whole situation. We're going to give you a look at some possible alternatives to these behavior drugs given to children. On the CBS Health Watch, researchers report they've completed a gene map to a human chromosome linked to Down syndrome, Lou Gehrig's disease, epilepsy, and some forms of Alzheimer's. They hope to use this knowledge to someday treat, even prevent these diseases. Straight ahead on CBS, the man at the center of a hot political corruption trial, Louisiana style.
Oh, my feet are killing me.
Now relieve all kinds of foot pain, even arthritis, with Podiasyn Soak and Massage Gel.
Is Podiasyn really different?
Yes, Podiasyn is the only medicated gel that works two ways. It dissolves in water for fast pain relief, then when pores open, rubs in deeper for long-lasting relief. No other rub or soak works like that.
There's nothing like Podiasyn. The pain is gone.
Only Podiasyn is specially made to relieve all kinds of foot pain.
High finance, underground. Janice is down here, checking up on a potential investment. A communications company that says they've laid more cable than their competitors. They look great on paper, but Janice gets beneath the surface, goes down and counts cable. They do have the most. They're ready to grow. Fast. Just what Janice was digging for. So what's up with your money? Get there. Janice Mutual Funds.
Sometimes in life we're given a second chance. If you are given a second chance, then you better go for it. I was about to start training for the Tour de France when I was first diagnosed with testicular cancer.
I saw someone who was afraid.
It spread into my abdomen, into my lungs, and into my brain. My prognosis was very poor.
I saw someone who was incredibly, incredibly strong.
Arranging a regimen of 3 Bristol-Myers Squibb cancer drugs. Doctors worked with Lance Armstrong to first control his cancer, then to beat it.
If I had had this illness 20 years ago, I wouldn't be alive right now. I wouldn't have lived 6 months.
Now we're working with Lance to spread the word of early detection, treatment, hope, and triumph.
Winning the Tour de France wasn't just a victory for me. It was a victory for cancer medicines and how far they've come.
The two miracles in my life are quite obvious. They're my husband and my son.
Luke David Armstrong.
They've defied all odds, and I'm a lucky woman.
Hope, triumph, and the miracle of medicine. Bristol-Myers Squibb Company.
Jury deliberations stretched into a third week today in the trial of former Louisiana Governor Edwin Edwards on federal corruption charges. CBS's Maureen Maher reports nothing is ordinary in the life and times of this politician known for letting the good times roll, often against heavy odds.
Former Louisiana Governor Edwin Edwards is rather confident for a man facing the prospect of life in prison.
No such prospect. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
Perhaps it's because the so-called Cajun wheeler dealer has been in trouble on the bayou before.
It's less than I expected. I'm not charged at all with the Oklahoma City bombing.
Edwards is accused of making millions peddling casino licenses during his last term as governor in the mid-1990s. The alleged plot reads like a dime store detective novel. 7 men charged with 91 counts of extortion. Witnesses like San Francisco 49ers former owner Eddie DeBartolo, who claims he had to fork over $400,000 to Edwards just to get his license. Hours of incriminating conversation taped in Edwards' office, and the affable 72-year-old himself, accompanied by his 35-year-old wife, Candy.
They simply have a wrong spin on what all the conversations and meetings were about.
Political scandal is nothing new here, but even by Louisiana standards, Edwin Edwards is one of the most thoroughly investigated public officials. 15 federal grand juries, 2 racketeering trials, and yet he has always been able to walk away a free man.
Do you have anything to hide? Oh, yes, but not in connection with this investigation.
The government says this case is much stronger than its last investigation, but the man who unsuccessfully prosecuted him in the 80s says Edwards' charm is a wild card.
I would never count him out, ever. As long as he's breathing, I wouldn't count him out.
But the odds may be against the 4-time governor this time around.
Will you help me?
the number of defendants, the number of counts, the number of schemes works in the government's favor of coming out of here with something.
Edwards has always prided himself as a high-stakes gambler. But with a possible 350-year sentence and a $7 million fine, the stakes have never been higher for this one-time sure bet. Maureen Maher, CBS News, Baton Rouge.
New government figures indicate serious crime in America is now down for a record 8 straight years. The FBI says that nationwide, crime fell in 1999 by an average of 7%. But experts are concerned about this figure. Murder in major cities fell just 2%. It was up in some. That, they say, is a sign the overall decline in crime may be coming to an end.
You bring such a... Man, what rhymes with elation?
Creation. Temptation.
Dividend reinvestment participation. Market capitalization. European market fluctuation. Industry globalization. Asset allocation. What?
When we created a smarter kind of investment firm, we created a smarter kind of investor.
Too many syllables?
It's allergy season. Or Allegra season. Enjoy your world with non-drowsy Allegra for people 12 and over. In clinical studies, less than 3% of people experience drowsiness, cold or flu, nausea, or menstrual pain. Ask your doctor for more information about Allegra and turn this allergy season into Allegra season. Enjoy your world.
Here's your regular internet homepage, and here's iWon.com. It's free. You use it like Yahoo or other search engines to check news, stocks, email. Only iWon.com gives away $10,000 a day, $1 million a month.
Oh, that's a lot of money.
And $10 million on tax day.
That's a lot of money.
Which one would you choose?
The one with the money, right?
That's a lot of money.
We'll take the one with the money.
iWon.com. Why wouldn't you?
My dry, itchy skin would flare up. I just wanted to hide.
Cordate helps heal and protect dry, itchy skin fast with maximum strength medicine and special moisturizers.
My skin was healed.
First aid, fast aid, Cordate.
How visionary. A bifocal contact lens that allows you to see both near and far. Sharp as ever.
Ask your eye care professional about AccuView Bifocal. AccuView, advancing the science of sight.
Coming up tonight at 6, many Middle Tennessee truckers deliver goods all through the country, but they also may be delivering death. We'll have that story coming up tonight at 6.
With apologies to David Letterman and Ron Popeil, we end tonight with stupid pet inventions. In this case, what we'll call the Pet-O-Matic. Here's how it works. Fido is coaxed into the machine, the operator sets the timer, and the dog gets a 4-minute wash and rinse, followed by a blow dry at a pooch's body temperature. The machine, including the blow dry, was invented in Spain. We're told it's selling well there, and we're told it also works for cats. That's part of our world tonight. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.
Should women serve on submarines? We'll go aboard tomorrow. Experience CBS News.
Coming up on News Channel 5 at 6, a new scam is bilking thousands from Middle Tennesseans, and the target is women.
And a lot of them look like lizards. I mean, they're nasty women, really.
But these women and their customers could be spreading a deadly disease throughout Middle Tennessee.
And his wife was the first lady of country music. Tonight, hear what George Ritchie has to say about Tammy Wynette's death. The news is right here, right now.
From the News Channel 5 Network, this is News Channel 5 at 6, your news and information leader.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Chris Clark.
And I'm Vicki Yates.
For the first time since her death, Tammy Wynette's widower, George Ritchie, is answering extensive questions about her death. It's part of the lawsuit filed by Wynette's daughters against the doctor and the pharmacy that provided the medication she was taking when she died. News Channel 5's Jennifer Krause was there as Ritchie and Wynette's daughters arrived for the deposition.